Hey guys, Ken here, and welcome to another quick tutorial. Today we're going to be doing something called focus stacking, and we're going to be using Photoshop 2022. So this is a really quick and easy process, but what it does is allow you to take a series of images that maybe have different focal points, and you merge them in Photoshop in order to have one final razor sharp image. At the end of the tutorial, we will also go in and do some basic photo editing so that we end up with one final image like this one by combining 12 images in total. So let's get started. So the first thing we do, of course, is take all of our photos. I shot my photos today, 12 different photos with various focal points, and I put them in a folder on my desktop called Materpix. So I'm going to open my Materpix. Here's my 12 images all together, and I am going to just grab all of my raw images. And then holding down Control on my Mac or Command on your PC and right click, I'm going to open with Photoshop 2022. So now all of my images are open, and as you can see as I click through them, there are various focal points for each image. It doesn't matter what order your images open in Photoshop. Mine for some reason opened out of order, but it doesn't matter because we're going to combine them all into one total image. So starting with your first image highlighted, okay, this becomes the base image. We're going to then just systematically go through each image one at a time, and we're going to drop it onto various layers into one project. So eventually this will be populated with a series of layers. So we simply activate the next image that we want, hold down left click, drag it over to our first image in our layer stack, and then drop it back down and let go. And as you can see now, it dropped this image onto the original image, and now we're starting to stack our layers over here. So we continue to do that for all of our images, one at a time. Okay, so now as you can see, we have stacked all of our layers. So now we're going to merge all of these images because obviously we've got various focal points depending on the images that we're looking at. So we're simply going to click one layer at the very top, scroll all the way down, and then we're going to hold down Shift and left click, and then it grabs everything. Then we go over here to Edit and Auto Align Layers. And what this will do is it'll take any slight discrepancies that you might have if your camera moved or something like that, or you didn't stack them quite evenly. It will go through and it'll basically line it up like a piece of tracing paper so that everything in your photo lines up appropriately. Make sure you click Auto and then don't click Vignette Removal or Geometric Distortion. All you need to make sure is that you click Auto and click OK. Now it's sorting through all of your images and it's getting ready to stack them all. Everything now is perfectly laid over one on top of the other. So this little eyeball is in precisely the same spot through all of these images. So now we go back up to Edit, and then we go down to Auto Blend Layers. Click Stack Images, Seamless Tones and Colors, yes, we want that, but do not click Content Aware and click OK. And through the magic of technology, you will very quickly see a complete and total in-focus image. Be patient, it may take a few seconds. Now, this is your blended image. So here is our final image. Everything is laid over, everything is blended together. We've got all of these nice sharp edges. We've missed one little spot right here, and it looks like maybe just a little bit over here on the mirror. So maybe two more shots could have gotten that sharp and that sharp, but for our purposes, this is fine. So again, we've got all of these little blank lines where things have overlapped and things kind of lined up, and now we've got gaps showing on our canvas. So we're going to do a quick crop before we do anything else. So go to your toolbar and choose crop, and then I'm just going to slightly bring it in just so that I can clean up those edges very quickly. When you're happy with your crop, click OK or return, and now we've cleaned up those edges. So over here now, you can see it actually created layer masks. So it actually eliminated sections of each image to reveal all of the sharp areas that we wanted it to, and it did that automatically for us. But if you look, you can see where all of these masks have taken place. So now we're going to do some edits, but before we do that, we have to export it and then import it back in. So we're happy with all of our focus stacking. Our layers are exactly what we want. We simply go to File, Save a Copy, and I'm going to call this Mater Layered Raw. It's going to save in Materpix, it's going to save as a JPEG, and I click Save. I want to save it as a large file, I always do, and I'm going to click Baseline, and I'm going to click OK. Now, I'm going to open this final image as its own image. Right now, we're still looking at this edited version, so I want the actual final version. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and we called that Mater Layered Raw. We're going to double click that or click on it once and then click Open. And now this is the same photo that we just edited, but now you can see there's no more layers because it is its own layer. So the first thing I'm going to do, I see a few little blemishes on my paper. I don't like that, so I'm going to fix those up. I'm simply going to go into my tools and I am going to use my spot healing brush, and I'll just do a little quick hit there, quick hit there. So now I'm going to make some color adjustments and things like that. Something I often like to do, you can do this or not, I like to just click image and auto color and just to see what it does. Sometimes it gives me a nice base, sometimes it throws everything way off. I don't know the rhyme or reason between why it does one thing one time and another thing another time, but I'm going to give it a try. So auto color, and I already see that it kind of gave it a little bit of a green sort of wash, grayish green. I don't like that, so I'm just going to go Command or Control Z to undo it, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and I'm going to do Selective Color. So Selective Color allows you to make changes to the hues and the tonal values of all of the colors that make up your color photograph. Red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and so on. So let's see what happens. Again, it's your image. You'll have a different subject matter, so this will look like a slightly different process as far as your settings go, but it's a good idea to always finish your photos because while this looks good, it can look better. Be careful with your neutrals and your blacks when you're making these changes because they can have a pretty dramatic effect. I'll just show you real quick. So with the neutrals and blacks, you really need to be very particular, but they do make a significant difference. I'm going to go back in. I think my whites could be just a little bit whiter. So I feel like this is pretty good. I'm just going to click OK. And then the last thing I like to do, and this doesn't always work, but I often find that it adds a little touch of drama as well, is I'm going to put a vignette or that sort of hazy little edging around here. What that does is it allows us to kind of concentrate our focal point, but it also allows us to add a little drama, a little class, but in this case also we've got a little trouble spot right over here where I can see we've lost the texture and I want to hide that. So I'm going to go up to Filter, Lens Correction, Custom, and about halfway down we see Vignette, and you can slide it all the way down to make it nice and dark or all the way up to make it bright, but I don't want it bright. I'm going to keep it dark. And again, you find that sweet spot that works for you. This looks pretty good for me, just about all the way. I'm happy with that. I'm going to click OK. We're going to go up to File, we'll save, and we'll click Save again because we've made some changes. We're going to click OK. And now, so that saved it as a PSD, a Photoshop file. We're going to go to File again, Save a Copy, and in this case, we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to save it as a JPEG. And click Save. Large file, click OK. So there we have it. This is our final image. So again, super easy process, and it really helps you if you can't quite get the right depth that you want, especially if you're using a macro lens, which has a small aperture, or if you're just using a small aperture, it allows you to get that deeper focus even though you've got a smaller aperture. So I hope that's helpful for you. Thanks for watching.
Who'da thunk speed and good looks all in one nice package?